Hey, this is Sid Michael with Brand Yourself on Facebook. We're going to go really quick and actually get this training done under 30 minutes. We want to give you insights and some information fast. We know you're out there selling cars. Hopefully you've already got one under your belt today, and maybe you'll get some more. Hope it's a good month for everybody. Let's move forward and let's just ask real quick. You're asking who Sid Michael is. I've had 14 years in automotive retail, 21 years in total automotive. I did do my JM&A stint. I've been everything from a salesman to a general manager. I've been a dealer. I've owned 3 separate car lots in my life. I broke out and started doing a direct mail company, Super Sales. I've worked in 37 states, so I know a lot of your markets. Since then, I wrote 2 Amazon bestsellers, and I created a course on how to sell to automotive, and how to implement digital services for automotive dealerships. I'm currently part owner and VP of sales for MediaMash, and I own a software called cardrops.net that you will be hearing if you haven't already, okay? But what we all have in common is we're all members of Car Dogs, the sales strategies on Facebook, okay? And I've got some other stuff. This is some of the stuff I did online. You may know the automotive strategies. I got F1 Fulfillment, Savage Siphon. I did Local Lead Driver, and, I've got several hundred products I've released or softwares that I've released online. But today with us, and I'm super excited, I've got a friend of mine, Brian Lollie, with BL Digital Enterprises. This is this guy came into automotive. I don't know, Brian. When did you start in automotive? Do you remember your first day? I know mine was October 27th, 1994. I sold my first car.
Wow. Well, mine wasn't that far back, but can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good. You seem a little loud. Just lower your volume just a little bit if you have a volume.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll help you out with that. Let's see here. I do apologize for that. Let me see here. How is that?
Yep, a little bit more. All right, just a hair. All right, we're good.
Okay.
We're good. Hey, you're live and on site over there. I know you're in a training and stuff, and I appreciate you taking time to work with us. But tell us a little bit about your when you started the car business.
Like Sid said, my name is Brian Lollie, and I started in the car business in Atlanta in 2003. Actually, it was in June of 2003. And,
what did you do prior to that, Brian?
I had a trucking company. I was a professional truck driver, and I had a couple of trucks, and I was traveling all over the U.S. and picking up accounts. So I was selling, my transportation goods to pick up businesses on the trucking side.
You must have hit the ground running, because it was about 04 or 05 when I started hearing about you, man. Let me just tell everybody, because I know it's hard to talk about yourself. Brian came in, we're at Toyota Mall of Georgia, and a lot of you already know that, but I talk about it all the time. But we were pretty innovative over there. We were doing Reputation before Reputation was online and stuff. But there was a Honda store next to us, and we always just dominated them. I mean, we do 700, 800, sometimes 1,000 cars, and they were like at 150. Well, then all of a sudden, they started getting like kind of noticed, and they started selling. I don't know, what was some of your best months? Did y'all get up over 500, Brian?
Oh, yes, we did. Yeah, we had months where we were above 500 and close to 600, and that's a lot of the Honda store.
Yeah, it's a ton, especially from this store that was averaging 150 cars new and used. And I'm thinking, man, it's the same general manager over there. What's going on different? Well, they had a stud, for the lack of a better word, in the internet department who just understood and moved the needle, man. He was doing things that a lot of us didn't understand the internet department was even thought of at the time. I mean, honestly, like in the early 2000s, I remember in 99 we used to fax us our internet leads, and I remember being upset that we had to respond to them within 3 days. I thought they were pushing us too hard. Now it's what, 8 minutes or you lose your inventory, So Brian was way ahead of his of the curve for a fact. And I'm going to go ahead and personally tell you that he's a man to be watching, because anything that he's putting out, it's live, it's real world, it's done, he's lived it, he knows, he's already made all the mistakes, so his wisdom can only help you move further. But I didn't mean to cut you off, Brian. I just wanted to brag on you a little bit.
No, Sid, that's okay. So that's fine, because I'm not very good at these, talking about myself. I don't,
It
That's fine.
sucks. I know it sucks. Hey, so I got a picture of you when you were at the radio station. Were you doing an interview there with 102?
Yes, I was. I was on that ESPN radio, and I was going up there doing what's called the Savannah Toyota Deal of the Day. So I
Nice.
would go on a radio station, and I would talk about the deal of the day for the automotive world.
Okay. That's cool because we're going to talk a little bit about how we can use Facebook to do similar to Deal of the Day, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Who's the pretty lady that graduated there? Is that what was going on there? You're holding up, looks like a diploma, and you got a pretty girl that's graduating all red.
Yeah, that's my daughter there, and she's in dental school right now,
Nice.
studying dentistry.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. And is that her also down at the bottom right? That's the way I remember you at Honda, always in a golf shirt.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's her right there also. Actually, she was singing at a choir in the Savannah area.
Oh, cool. All right. And you've been working with a Toyota store down in Savannah. I know Scott Ritchie's down there. You've helped him out. You got recruited to contract or to put him on, get him on pace over there. I know quite a while back, right?
Yes, I did see it. You know, he actually he took me from the Atlanta area, and I went down with him to help turn the store around. They were underperforming, and we were able to turn the store around and get them, you know, a #1 inside the market and one of those Southeastern Toyota elite Toyota dealerships.
Yep.
And so I built the internet department in BDC and so on and so forth. But no, we had a great time down there with those guys. A great group of guys.
That's
Great
cool.
group.
That's cool. So I see you obviously are very active with your daughter. You got any more siblings or kids other than her?
I do. I have my oldest is actually in the car business, and I've been training him. So he works at a dealership. And I have another son who graduated about a year ago from college in marketing, and I'm teaching him digital marketing.
So those of you that are looking at these pictures thinking he's 21, you can do the math and realize that he's a good-looking guy, but he's not 21 years old. He's obviously a family man. You know, even though the car business is stressful, it's not stressed Brian too much. He's holding up just fine. All right, cool, man. Well, that's good, man. You know, I personally have never had kids or married, but you know, man, there ain't no telling what would happen if I had kids. I might just own the world, man, if I get that kind of responsibility. But I've always respect a good dad, and you can clearly see on your Facebook that that's a bright spot of your life is taking care of your kids. I like that. Well, let's jump right in real quick, and let's talk about Facebook. First off, how many of you out there actually have your very own Facebook page? How many of you are branding that way? Give me just put yes or no, or put 1 or 2, whatever you want to do. 1's yes, 2's no. Just list it there in the question box, and we'll see. Okay. All right. Put a 3 if you never thought about doing it. Okay. A lot of 1s. Good. Good. Dave. Okay. Dave's had one for over 2 years. Okay. A lot of 2s here. That's okay. And we have a few 3s, and that's okay too. Well, we're here to show you and give you some inside benefits, some quick benefits to having one. If you have any question of how to set up your own public profile or set up a Facebook page for yourself, I will gladly offer to set one up for you for free. Now, that's a $500 value. When I say free, there's no hooks to it. I will set your page up for free. I will require you to give me some images, or you can just tell me to take ones off your Facebook photos, and I'll use those. But I will create you your very own automotive sales work-based Facebook page for you to work, okay? And I'm going to show you today in the next 15 or 20 minutes, we're going to give you some quick insight real quick, and then we'll answer some questions. But we'll give you some quick insight on how you monetize them. First off, one thing that drives me nuts is how many people don't say, man, I do this. You want to scream at the top of your lungs. It's not like back when I got in the car business and you went to a party and somebody said, what do you do? And you said sales, right? It's okay to say car sales, even though people have some pre-programmed images in their mind of what a car salesman is. But fortunately, it's a lot of it's changed. And I think what we do every day helps that image to get erased, right? So you need if you haven't, you need to immediately put on your Facebook page where you work and what you do. And the reason why is you'd be surprised how many friends or past friends that you have or somebody you went to high school or whatever will see, oh, Brian works over at Honda. He was a good dude. I remember him sticking up for me when I was about to get beat up in the bathroom. I think when my buddy asked for a truck or a car, I'll send him over to see Brian, right? So you need to, first off, make sure that everybody knows what you do. Now, the only way to do it better is to actually create your own page, because then you've got a lot of more options available to you, okay? This is one that I set up for a guy about 2 years ago. He's no longer at Honda, but I set up Mr. Honda of Atlanta. Now, he used this and did really well with it. It definitely pushed him up. He also purchased, you're going to like this, Brian, he purchased True Car Honda Salesman as his webpage. And he did a lot of self-branding. His name was Nick Schofield, and he's still currently selling cars. He's doing some things on his own right now, but he used self-branding and listened to a lot of the insight that I showed him to push to the next level, and it worked. It worked. He could advertise for conquest business outside of his market. He could advertise in the whole state. He could advertise to owners. Now you can pick all kinds of stuff, and we're going to talk a little bit about that and help you out. Okay, so this is what one of these sales pages, like I'm talking about setting up for you, would look like. All right, first off, like what I just said, shout out to action. All right, you got to make sure everybody knows who and what and why and where and what you're doing and what's happening. Okay, hey, summer clearance event, deal so hot we recommend sunscreen, right? He's a clever little guy, but he posted this out. You see there, 36 people viewed it. Now this is when he first started the page back in September, or towards the end of the page in September. But 36 people. How long would it take you to call 36 people, right? Brian, how long would it take you to dial 36 customers and invite them to your car store?
For me, it'd probably take me about 20 minutes.
You're a speed dialer, or you must have 2 handsets on your phone on your desk. Either way, to be able to post and get your message out in front of them is way cooler than having to actually call all 36 people. It's a great touch, right? And the higher you get the frequency, the better your touch will be, right? And you get those touches up, you'll start noticing that car business will, you'll see a lot of stuff, you'll see a lot of interaction happening. And all you got to stay is engaged. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the future trainings also, okay? Let's move to the next one here. Deal of the week. Now, he called it deal of the week, and I worked with him on this, and we actually switched it up a little bit. First off, I got him, I wish he'd have taken better photos, but, take nice, crisp, all the way to the edge, crop them. I like angle shots, but make sure you take enough photos that somebody can really see a good angle of that car and get into it. And what we switched this to was called Wholesale Wednesday. And what he would do is he said, listen, with lack of permission, with permission, I'm going to offer you or show y'all my hottest under $10,000 car every Wednesday, because I know I get called. How many times do you get called asking for under $10,000 Hondas, Brian?
Oh man, all day long, all day.
Is that the cherry of the car business? If you had 100 of them, do you think you would do any less than 100 cars in that month? Seriously, I'm like, the word Honda costs more than 10 grand, guys. You know what I mean? But everybody has that grandmother or that single mom that just got divorced, or that kid that's going off to college, or something going on. They need something nice under 10 grand, and they always think Honda because they remember the highest resale ever, and and all the good publicity came with it, or they all remember Toyota, right? And they always want Honda or Toyota for under 10 grand, sometimes under 5 grand, right? So what this is if one of these things get traded in, we, as a salesperson or as an employee at a car dealership, for a couple days before they actually hit the, the cars.com or the Auto Trader, they get posted. Well, that's 2 days. Well, what happens is somebody lucks up and comes in and happens to ask that same question that you dread and says, do you have a Honda or Toyota under 10 grand? And you say, I do. And then a complete stranger goes and takes advantage of a really nice car that I would rather see my friends and family or my past customers, which would be you here on my Facebook page, take advantage of this. So I want to give everybody a 2-day head start. And if you don't mind, just on Wednesdays, I'm gonna post what I call Wholesale Wednesday, and that's when, you can do Friends and Family Friday or Wholesale Wednesday. We did it a couple different ways. Both work. But this kind of gets the permission to actually post a car and sell it, and it gives a chance for your past customers to understand and see how much you appreciate them, which goes a long ways in referrals and references, right? See the advantages of that?
That's right.
Yep. Todd from Minnesota says, man, he goes, I don't know why I didn't think of that. Well, it's just wisdom, man. I don't know. It's a whole nother conversation. I'll tell y'all one day what my belief in wisdom. But I love old people. They can tell you a lot about life in a short few words. Also, how about a service call to action? Now, why is a salesperson going to do any kind of service call to action? All you're doing is setting a Venus flytrap, man. You just want something people resonate with, something people say, wow, I need that, right? You know, that would help me. You can do a service call to action. And with the service call to action, maybe they do need an oil change. Maybe they don't need to talk to a salesman, but they come in for that oil change. Make sure you come see me while you're waiting in service, and then you can go over there and talk to them. Hey, did you get my coupon? Great, no problem. Did you do this? Did you do that? You know, are you looking for another car? Hey, did you know we got $1,500 rebates where you can actually get a newer car, brand new, fresh warranty on it? And I think I'd keep your payment about the same, right? Ideal customer is somebody, you know, maybe it was like low sixes or high fives that, you know, paid all their payments on time, and they you know, since resurrected some of their marginal credit. It's always easier to lower those payments or keep their same payment the same, right? Because they're in a bad contract based on their history from a year ago, right? So as long as they paid their payments on time, some of them have, then you can do it real easy. Have you ever thought about doing a service call to action, anybody? Okay, Anna? Okay, good. Anna says, I work the service lane every Friday. Man, Anna.
Nice.
I'm hiring, Anna. No, I'm kidding. I don't know why salespeople wouldn't be in the service lane every chance they get. I know you got to get in there early, but it gives you a great great camaraderie with some of your service guys. You know, you want to get along with everybody, and those guys will tend to refer me the deals because I was always out there and they knew who I was and felt comfortable talking to me. If you don't go out there, don't do it. One recommendation that I do give: take some Krispy Kreme when you go. They'll love you more. It always helps. Real quick, let's see. I missed one slide. Let's talk about Facebook tips real quick. Now, Brian, I know you got a huge background, and you've got a lot more technical side to you than I do. But not only being a great salesman, you've got a lot of understanding of SEO and stuff like that. I put up some of your Facebook tips that you mentioned with me. You're talking about, number one here, have your customers signed and written consent prior to posting anything. You want to, is there a form that you need to get signed before you post a picture of them purchasing the car, or?
Yes, absolutely. See, and that's a very good question. Yeah, that's coming from where I came from, corporate stores, we have to be in compliance because a customer could easily come back and, sue the dealership if someone came after them after seeing a post that you posted. So you always want to protect the dealership first. What I would recommend is probably get with, your general sales manager or your GM or your dealer principal, who's ever in charge of creating these documents, if you would, and put it into your CRM system. So when you print your paperwork in your deal jacket, you have your customer sign that. Therefore, when you do post them on Facebook or wherever you post them at or videos, it's okay, and they can't come back and try to sue you with the dealership. That's very, very important.
Yeah, that is smart. Brian, do you by chance have a copy of one of those? We could email out maybe later on today or whenever you can get it. We'll make a copy of it. By no means are we giving legal advice, but this is one you could refer to or reference and maybe rewrite.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I get that to you. Yep, I'll get you one of those.
Appreciate it. All right, number 2, you said verification. Have Facebook verify your page if business is for business of higher results throughout Google, Bing, Yahoo. By being verified, it will start posting your page, basically SEO. That's an SEO tactic, right, Brian?
Right. Yes, sir. That's correct. That is correct. Because like the last slide that you had with the guy out in at the Honda store, his face, the Honda guy. I didn't see it was a verified page. What happens is that when you verify your page with Facebook, they'll give you like a little verified badge. They would allow your content to surface more to a broader audience
Oh, nice.
throughout the search. So it's great where you can get a lot more notoriety if you would.
So somebody in Cumming, Georgia that was searching for best deal on Honda might see some of his postings or where other people referred that based on his postings on his page, right?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
That's correct.
Okay. What about, you said you could geo-target customers based on location and interest. Now I know Facebook has gotten really deep on, some of the targeting. I know they're using with Polk data now, and they're able to get pretty much any list that you could ever do for direct mail. What kind of stuff have you ever done anything like that or worked with geo-targeting?
Oh, sure, absolutely. No, I specialize in that stuff, and I work with it all the time. For the sales professional, though, however, they can go with inside of Facebook. They can select an audience on who they want to share their content with, and they can narrow it down to zip code, city, state, you name it, and they can actually post, like those service deals in certain areas.
Yep.
To give you a good example, let's say if they want to go after their competitors and post their content to a Toyota store and they sell Hondas. Mm-hmm. Those Toyota customers in that area could see their content and their postings and hopefully, call the phone or show up for their business, or even just like them on Facebook. So yeah, you can do that.
Yep, that's awesome. And it says you were talking about a little bit about how you can upload your customer database, CSV, for marketing purposes. It's called a perfect audience, right? You can build a perfect audience for yourself and advertise to past customers.
Oh yes, sir, you can. And this came out, I think, a month ago or 2 months ago with Facebook, which I'm very excited about. But let's say if you're selling cars and you built up your database of customers, you can upload. I mean, even if you don't have that, you can upload customers into your Facebook, and now you can market to those customers. So let's say if you came from another location and you kept up with your customers, you can upload them into your Facebook in a CSV file or an Excel spreadsheet. If you know how to do that, you can get with the CFO of your company or your GSM or someone who's more like in administrative and put those customers, and now you can market to them to they can see your brand, which that's very dynamic.
Yep.
Very dynamic.
I know you can actually match those from phone number or email. Of course, email is the best, but you can take all your past customers if you have a CSV that will just have their phone number or email, and you can actually, it'll find them on Facebook and create a perfect audience or for you, or a page. And then when you advertise, it'll ask, do you want to go after like friends and friends of friends, or do you want to go after a targeted market? And if you target the market, you can then choose, okay, my past clients. So that's your past clients are the best clients. Unfortunately, I've discovered in my experience that sometimes they're the most abused clients. We all know the follow-up percentages and numbers. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that one out of 10 are actually going to get a follow-up, right? So if you're not following up with your customers, or if you don't want to sit there and blow their phone up and necessarily harass them at some point, a good way to follow up is to do it with an email or through Facebook. Send them a private message. Hey, I know you bought your car last week. Just want to make sure you're doing okay. If you have any questions, call me first. What is that going to help with? CSI. What is that going to help with? Referrals. What is that, you can even do like a 4-day, hey, this first week in, we're race to the record next month for the second week of April. We're actually doubling our bird dogs to 200. If you got a friend or family, anybody wants some good service, I know you're loving your car, let me know, right? That's called engagement. And Facebook is an excellent, proper, social, simple way to engage with a lot of people at once. And if you're not using it, if you're not capitalizing with it, you need to be. I promise you, whatever you're selling right now, go ahead and add 10 to 20% on there if you properly start using social media to push yourself. How many people have had super sales in their store? Right? Everybody's had the team come in and, they dump a ton of advertising out there. They're doing social super sales now. They're not doing direct mail. They're not using the key mailer anymore. They're going in just with Facebook, getting every single employee in the building, and then they tag each other when they're doing it. and they will create such a buzz. They're doing the similar results of, 30, 40, 50,000 pieces of mail created for them. Letting everybody know what they do. That's how important it is to shout out socially, to let everybody know what you can help and are the professional of. Okay. I know for me, when I refer somebody, I don't really refer to the person I like the most. I refer to the person I know will get it done and follow through. Right. Nothing's worse than referring somebody and then them call you back and go and asking you, hey, so what, I called your buddy, left a message. He never called me back. That's the worst feeling in the world, Brian, when you got a piece of cheese, right? Well, how do you pick your house mouse? How do you pick which one you go after, or who do you give it to?
Oh man, I'm going to give it to the person who's going to take care of the customer.
That's right. Score a touchdown. You just want what you give. Now, if you give it to a guy and then he comes back and asks you so many questions that you might as well have sold it yourself, are you going to give him another one? No way. Right. You wouldn't, because you wouldn't have given away the cheese to a salesman unless for the first place, if you had to do it yourself, you're doing it to help them out, give them an extra unit, and because you want them to score a touchdown. That's important. It's very, very important. If any of you are new on here, if any of you are green, I know we got a lot of green peas in the group. Listen to me. If you ever get the opportunity for one of your managers hands you a cheese deal, for lack of a better term, that's what we call it, follow through with it. Make it happen. Over deliver. Make it like, man, I'm glad I gave it to that guy. He went and dealer traded and did the whole deal. Right? Don't go back to the person that gave it to you and give them grief. That's the quickest way to never get another cheese deal again. And you know what? Call me the house mouse. I'll be that house mouse all day long when I'm going to the bank on Friday. You know what I mean? The reason why they would give me cheese deals was because I followed through. Unfortunately, I was always up in the top, and they would always give it to the second place guy to make me work harder. So I didn't get a lot of cheese, but that's the way it is. Yeah. We're going to do some trainings on how to help salespeople better understand and get along with their management. And that communication barrier is almost as important as communicating with your significant other. But bottom line is all communication always strengthens and helps better business atmosphere and better home atmosphere. Needless to say, can you imagine how successful would marriage be if you couldn't communicate? Right? I learned how to speak Spanish just to try and communicate with my last girlfriend. This is you got to communicate, right? So you need to communicate with your managers also. Maybe they did some advertising that's really not working, or you don't understand exactly how to handle the customer when they come in. Go ask your manager. You need to know that, and they need to know that you're having trouble with it, so they can maybe better write the ad next time, or put better placement on the ad. Anytime there's something wrong with a car, if you get in and the check engine light saying, there's a problem, it could just be an O2 sensor. Yet, if you don't change it, that car's going to age and then go to the auction and get sold off cheap and lose money for the dealer, which makes his job more stressful and hard. If you had communicated that it had a check engine light on, it could have got fixed weeks ago and made somebody a nice commission. So there's a lot of little different aspects like that I think, in fact, I know that if you can work on and if you can learn to communicate a little bit better, things go better and more money comes with better communication. So we'll talk more about that and some upcoming webinars, and hopefully I can have Brian share his wisdom with us again. It's always a pleasure having you here, Brian. I appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know it was a little bit of a short notice, but I wanted everybody to get to know you and know that if they have a question and see you on Facebook or see your little button pop up green and you got a question, Brian's the guy to ask. Brian, so tell us, right, what are you doing from this point forward? I mean, what's the next move for BL Enterprises?
Actually, I'm working on several projects right now. I'm working on some dealerships where I'm implementing processes to where they can come in and dominate their digital presence with the sales professional and the dealership themselves. So coming from, growing up in the automotive business from Detroit, Michigan, basically, even though I moved to Atlanta, yep, and being around all that, I've been around it. So now it's in my blood and I love it. And it's a passion of mine. So now I look forward to helping out, sales professionals, dealerships, GMs, and have you whatnot, learn the people business, because all these are just tools to use.
Brian, did you have to move out of Detroit to sell Hondas? Is selling Hondas in Detroit the most unpopular guy in the world?
Yes.
A lot of domestic up there. It's hard to get the Honda fired up, huh? I'm just playing
Yes,
with
it
you, man.
is.
I've worked up there. I forgot the story, man, but man, it's amazing how many like X plans and all that stuff that goes on up there. But are they still closing at 6? Don't they have it like where they close at 6 or something in Detroit? I don't know. If anybody's from Detroit, tell me. But
Well, it's been a while since I've lived there, even though I got family who still reside there, but it's been a while since I've been there.
yeah, that's cool. All right, well, cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for coming out. Everybody else, hey, look at watching the group. Hey, last thing I want to say is, we're doing something that's a little bit different. I don't know any other group that does this, no matter what kind of dog you are. $1,000 salesperson of the month. You gotta register. You gotta put your name in the hat. You gotta send in your verified buyer's orders. We'll sign an NDA for you if it helps, but have your manager contact me, Sid Michael, SYD Michael at rocketmail.com, and send in your verified buyer's orders, and we'll put you on a leaderboard. I'm willing to pay $1,000 to the salesperson of the month every single month within our group. How many people, dealers right now, are even paying salesman of the month bonuses? Give me a 1 if they are, and 2 if they're not, real quick in the question box. Let's just do it quick. Okay. Yep. All right. Man, more 2s than 1s. Well, how much are they offering for their salesman of the month? 500, 500, 500. Yep. Anybody getting 1,000? Oh, that sucks, man. He said he goes, I got offered 1,000, but they didn't pay me.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna pay you. This, and not only am I gonna pay you, this could be MDK money. Does anybody know what that is? I mean, I know we talked about it all the time. Brian, do you even know what MDK money is? Mama don't know, baby. That's good
right.
money
Mama
right
don't
there.
know.
You spend it wherever you want. All right. Okay. All right. So get signed up. I am itching to give this money away. All you got to do is sign up and submit your orders. We will pass out the money on the 10th. Just submit your orders after the last day of the month. I know today's the last day of the month, and I appreciate any of you that spent time with us. That's why I want to respect your time. All right, cool. Under 40 minutes, we're good. And hey, Rebecca, happy, good to see you. Canada's in the house now.
Canada.
Yeah, Canada, man, Canada's taking off, man. I'm telling you, the car business. We talked about doing some super sales up there, but never did. But I mean, I would have wanted to. I did visit Ontario once, or no, I visited. Oh man, next to there. But anyways, all right. Hey, that's it. Hey, Brian, thank you so much, man. I'll talk to you again. I know we got a lot of business we're gonna work on, and everybody else, thank you so much for your time. I'll be emailing this back out if you had to jump off for any reason, or you had a car deal come in or a client. You can always go back and you can reference or go through this any way you want. Once you get your Facebook page set up, I recommend you going back through and listening to some of those tips that I gave you, and definitely some of the tips that Brian shared with you. Okay. All right. That's everything. Thank you so much. See you later, Brian. Thanks, buddy.
Are you welcome, Sid? Thanks, Sid, for having me.
Yes, sir.